Teacher Miss Vahan.
Next sentence. And we might have a new words. Yes, the first one.
One day.
One day. One day. Yes. Maybe day. Yeah, one day. There's a story in which one day. Yeah. So this is time. Okay. One day. So we will make like one day. One day. Yeah. Follow me. 1, 2, 3, go.
One day.
Day. Out loud. One more time.
One day.
Out loud.
One day.
One day. One day. One day. Okay. One day. Very good. Next one. Come into. Come into. Come into. Come into. Yeah, like you go somewhere. You go to the school, come into the school. Go to the toilet, come into the toilet. Come into. Come into. So we will action like, yeah, come into. Okay.
Come.
Okay. Your body is a little bit back in the back. Okay, and you say come into. Easier? Alright. So one more time. Come into. Come into. One day. Come into. Yeah, one day. Come into. One more time.
Class.
Your class. Yeah, class. What is your class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, class. It's class. For example, class 2A1 or class A25. It's class. Class A23. Yeah, class A22. Yeah, class. Okay, class. So class, we will action like class. Yeah, draw class. Okay. Class. One more time. 1, 2, 3, go.
Class.
Yeah, out loud. Class. Yeah. So one more time. Class. One day, come into. Yeah. So let's come to our sentence. One day, he comes into his class. He comes into. And you can say comes into. Okay. One day he comes into his class. Okay, so let's learn the sentence with me. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. One day he comes into his class. His English class. Great. So one day he comes into his class. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
One day
he comes into his class. Okay, so let's count our mini story for the sentence. Right? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, why so weak? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you loud? Are you ready? Yes, very
Yes.
good. One day he comes into his class.
Ooh.
Great. One day, does Tony come into the toilet?
No.
No. One day, does Tony come into the school?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe class in the school. Yeah. One day, does Tony come into his house?
No.
No, not his house. One day, does Tony come into his girlfriend's house?
No.
No, not his girlfriend's house. So one day, does Tony come into the class? His class.
Yes.
Yes. One day, Tony comes into his class. One day, does Tony come into Tina's class? Tina's class. Teacher Tina's class.
No.
No. One day, does Tony come into his math class?
No.
No, Tony Dennis has math class. So one day, does Tony come into his English class?
Yes.
One day, Tony comes into his English class. His English class. What kind of class does Tony come into in one day? What kind of class? English class. Yeah. One day, Tony comes into his English class. Yeah. So who comes into his English class?
Tony.
Yes, Tony. One day, Tony is coming into his English class. So when does Tony come into his English class?
One day.
One day. Yeah, one day. one day Tony comes into his English class. Tony comes into his English class. So what does Tony do in one day? What does he do? Well, he comes into his class. One more time. What does Tony do in one day? Yeah, he comes into his class. Tony comes into his class. So, who comes into his class in one day? Yeah, Tony. Tony comes into his class. So that's all. Where does Tony come into? Where?
His class.
Where?
His class.
His class. One day, Tony comes into his class. His English class. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this. Yeah, you listen to this again and again and again until you can master this. Okay, see you in our next sentence. Goodbye.
Yes. What, teacher?